It's transfer season, so today on Football Daily we're going to bring you 10 of the most outrageous rumours we've heard already this summer. Think we missed one? Let us know in the comments section and maybe we can do a part 2 when the window comes to a close. But for now, let's get into it. 10. Chukwuemeka to Barcelona. We start with Aston Villa teenager Carney Chukwuemeka. The highly rated 18-year-old is seen as a top prospect in Steven Gerrard's squad, having been with the Premier League club since moving from Northampton Town 6 years ago, and has made 15 appearances for them since his debut in May 2021. You'd therefore expect the villains to tie the midfielder down to a long-term deal, but with his current contract due to expire at the end of next campaign, very little progress has actually been made. This is due to Chukwuemeka wanting more first-team action, something that doesn't seem forthcoming with the likes of McGinn, Luiz, Ramsey, and now Coutinho and Kamara amongst those ahead of him in the pecking order. And now Barcelona are sniffing around according to GETAFE, despite the Blaugrana of course already having a very talented raft of young midfielders to pick from, including Pedri and Gavi. This news also comes despite the club's well-documented financial crisis and their continued pursuit of high-profile names like Robert Lewandowski. It makes sense for everyone if Chukwuemeka remains at Villa Park for the foreseeable future. 9. Bale to GETAFE. Next up we take a look at the rumours that see Gareth Bale linked with GETAFE, or the ones pairing him with ATLÉTICO Madrid, or even Nottingham Forest. The point is, despite no one knowing where the Welshman will end up, some clubs are probably a little too unrealistic, although there were suggestions that the 32-year-old wanted to remain in the Spanish capital. This would pay credence to the Atleti and GETAFE gossip, with Rayo Vallecano also throwing their hat in the ring. However, Bale's agent quickly dismissed the links with those sides, waving goodbye to a potential frontline of Falcao and Bale at Los Vallecanos, a deadly duo if we were a decade in the past. What seems infinitely more likely is a return to English football, but not to international teammate Brennan Johnson's newly promoted Nottingham Forest. Instead, Championship side Cardiff City are the frontrunners, ahead of nouveau riche Newcastle United, looking to tempt Bale with a return home. Considering his Bernabeu wages exceeded the Bluebirds' entire payroll last season, this too could seem improbable. But with Bale set to lead his country to the World Cup, anything seems possible. 8. Luis Suarez to Villa. Now 35 years old, Luis Suarez's time in Spain looks to be coming to an end. The Uruguayan netted 198 goals in 6 years with Barcelona, becoming their third highest goalscorer before switching to Atletico Madrid in 2020, where 21 goals in his debut campaign contributed to a league title. In fact, with 520 goals in his 17 years as a professional, Suarez ranks 19th in the official all-time scoring charts, and is at the stage in his career where he could comfortably wind down wherever he wants, with Inter Miami said to be interested in the striker. But no, it looks like the 2013-14 Premier League Golden Boot winner could be heading back to England. Boss Steven Gerrard has already worked his charm to get former teammate Philippe Coutinho to sign in the West Midlands, and that's clearly the lure here for Suarez too, the player Gerrard calls the best he has ever played with. If he does return to the Premier League, Villa would have beaten the likes of Fiorentina and Lazio to his signature. Equally bizarre links, as they look to qualify for European football for the first time since 2010. 7. Danny Ings to Man United. If Gerrard does pull off the coup of Luis Suarez, then that probably means another villain striker will see their time at the club cut short. Considering Ollie Watkins was among the most used players at Villa Park last campaign, this could spell bad news for Danny Ings, who made less Premier League starts this season than he did in any of his 3 years spent with Southampton. The 29-year-old who has 3 England caps has been regarded as one of the country's more prolific attackers, having scored 38 goals for the Saints between 2019 and 2021. But just 7 goals across all competitions in his debut campaign with Villa hasn't seemed to deter Man United. Erik ten Hag is looking for a backup to Cristiano Ronaldo, and United aren't unfamiliar with rogue attacking signings, see Odion Ighalo for example, but can surely find someone more appropriate than Ings, who will likely set the Old Trafford club back, a figure not dissimilar to the £26 million he cost last summer. On top of that, Gerrard has said the former Liverpool man is part of his plans, but if Villa's impressive recruitment drive continues, Ings could still be somewhere else come September. 6. Bukayo Saka to Man City. Man City might have a reputation for poaching Arsenal's best players, with the likes of Adebayor and Nasri swapping the Emirates for the Etihad, but the rumours that have seen them linked with Saka might be a stretch too far. Mikel Arteta's side may have just missed out on Champions League football for next season, but there's little reason to believe that Saka, who is still only 20, would consider making such a switch, at least at this stage in his career. The winger is already amongst the Gunners' most senior players, and depending on certain departures this summer, could be the player in the squad with the most club appearances, having already made 131 for the side he supports. The 18-capped international doesn't see his current deal in North London expire until 2024, and it is anticipated that Arsenal will do what they can to keep hold of not only one of their best academy products in a generation, but one who is very quickly becoming an elite Premier League player. As long as Arteta and Arsenal continue to trend in the right direction, Saka isn't going anywhere. 5. Sergej Milinkovic-Savic to Fulham. No stranger to transfer rumours, Sergej Milinkovic-Savic is often seen as name linked with a host of Premier League clubs, including Chelsea and Man United. Having starred for Lazio over the past 7 years, winning Serie A Midfielder of the Year in 2018-19, the Serbian international has established himself amongst Europe's best midfielders, and every transfer window is touted with a move away from the Stadio Olimpico. That's no different this summer, although the interested party is, with newly promoted Fulham throwing their hat in the ring for the 27-year-old, who has also been courted by Juventus and PSG in recent years. The Cottagers appear to be pinning their hopes on secret agent Alexander Mitrovic to bend SMS's ear and convince him that a move to the banks of the Thames is in his best interests. Serbian top scorer Mitrovic might be a highly respected figure in the Serbia camp, but SMS undoubtedly sees himself playing at a higher level. Add to the fact that Lazio president Claudio Lotito claims he once turned down an €140 million offer for his star man, and we can firmly place this outrageous rumour in the not going to happen category. 4. Tomas Soucek to Spurs. Few players have had such an impact at one club in recent years than Tomas Soucek has at West Ham. Signed on loan from Slavia Prague as a relative unknown in January 2020, the Czech international quickly became a fan favourite, scoring vital goals from midfield as the Hammers avoided relegation in his debut Premier League campaign. Since signing permanently for £15 million, Soucek has gone from strength to strength, finishing as top scorer for the club with 10 in 2020-21 and remaining one of the first names on the team sheet. So it would come as a shock if West Ham sold the 27-year-old, let alone to rival Spurs, something suggested as a possibility at the beginning of June. This came off the back of rumours that player and club had reached an impasse over contract negotiations, despite the Czech Republic captain having a deal in place at the London Stadium until 2024. This gives them a lot of time to come to an agreement, and even if they don't, it's hard to see West Ham selling to Spurs. They haven't done so as a top-flight club since 1985. 3. Josh Windass to Atletico Talleres. British players moving abroad is often headline-worthy due to it being a reasonably uncommon occurrence. One place they never move is South America, with the last British former Premier League player to do so being Colin Kazim-Richards, who spent a year with Brazilian side Corinthians between 2017 and 2018 on his nomadic footballing journey. Now Josh Windass, son of Hull City legend Dean, may not have played top-flight football in England, but he has come the closest to making such a switch, with Argentina Primera Division side Atletico Talleres making the Sheffield Wednesday Star their #1 target heading into the summer. But what are Lacter, who finished third in Argentina last season ahead of Boca Juniors, doing raiding League One? Well, the club's manager is Pedro Caixinha, and the Portuguese coach managed Windass at Rangers in 2017, with his board trusting him enough to lodge a £1 million bid for the attacker. However, the Isles were adamant that Windass would be staying in Yorkshire as they looked to gain promotion back to the Championship. So unfortunately, this bizarre transfer rumour will remain just that. 2. Edinson Cavani to Salernitana. Few sides had a more eventful 2021-22 campaign than Serie A newcomers Salernitana. 36 players were signed during a season that saw them almost go out of business, spend the majority of the year rooted to the bottom of the league, but ultimately clinched top-flight survival on the final day. So entering season 2 in the top flight, you'd think stability was key, but that hasn't stopped I Granata eyeing big names, including Man United striker Edinson Cavani. If they didn't have another former superstar in Frank Ribery on the books, this would feel even more unlikely. But regardless, it feels a little too ambitious for the Salerno club, despite being just down the road from the 35-year-old's former side Napoli. Club president Danilo Avellino has said he will do what he can to bring the Uruguayan to the Stadio Orecchi, but the prevailing belief is that the striker, who has 133 international caps, will go back to South America after 15 years to wind down his playing career. After a difficult season that has been marred by injuries, the last thing Cavani will want is another embattled 12 months when he could just return home instead. 1. Mason Mount to Man United. Comfortably the most ridiculous rumour that we've heard is Mason Mount to Man United. This one surfaced as last season came to a close, when Chelsea's boardroom situation was still to be resolved, And even as the Todd Boehly-led consortium did see their takeover bid go through, Erik ten Hag remained interested in the 23-year-old, having first been made aware of the midfielder when he turned out for Eredivisie side Vitesse Arnhem in 2017-18. The England international last signed a contract at Stamford Bridge in 2019, after impressing with Derby County in the Championship, and has since become a key player at the club, making 160 appearances in just 3 years. However, with Chelsea obviously having their priorities elsewhere in the last few months, a number of players were said to be questioning their future in West London. That's not saying Mason Mount was one of those, but he was also said to be subject of discreet inquiries from both Liverpool and Man City. However, with Chelsea's future now secure, it wouldn't be a surprise to see Mount extend his contract beyond its current expiry date of 2024, finally putting to bed this particularly outrageous rumour. So guys, that was 10 of the most outrageous transfer rumours of this summer so far. I'm sure we missed plenty, so let me know in the comments down below. If you've enjoyed this video, please remember to like it and subscribe to Football Daily for more great daily content, and I'll catch you next time.